Today we're taking a look at these NFL matches and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. And if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Green Bay Packers vs Tennessee Titans. The Titans bounced back from their loss to Kansas City with a win over the Broncos in their last game. They will try to keep the momentum going with a win over the Packers, which will give them their 2nd win in a row and 7th win in their last 8 games. Tennessee is averaging 18.4 points per game. They are throwing for 148.2 yards and rushing for 133.4 yards per game. Ryan Tannehill completed 53% of his passes for 255 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win over the Broncos. Derrick Henry had 19 carries for 53 yards, while Nick Westbrook-Ikhine had 5 carries for 119 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tennessee has played well defensively, giving up 18.7 points per game. They gave up 10 points in their last game and will need a similar effort if they want to get the win. The Packers snapped their 5-game losing streak with a win over the Cowboys in their last game. They will try to keep the momentum going with a win over the Titans, which will give them their 2nd win in a row. Green Bay is averaging 18.4 points per game. They are throwing for 148.2 yards and rushing for 133.4 yards per game. Aaron Rodgers completed 70% of his passes for 224 yards and 3 touchdowns in the win over the Cowboys. Aaron Jones had 24 carries for 138 yards and 1 touchdown, while Christian Watson had 4 catches for 107 yards and 3 touchdowns. Green Bay has played well defensively, giving up 21.6 points per game. They gave up 28 points in their last game and will need to do a better job if they want to win this game. The Titans have won 6 of their last 7 games and 3 of their last 4 road games. They aren't explosive offensively, but they have one of the best ground games in the league. Fortunately for them, the Packers are one of the worst teams against the run, so expect them to pound the ball on the ground and milk the clock, which will keep Rodgers and Green Bay's offense on the sidelines. The Packers snapped their 5-game losing streak in their last game and had their best defensive game of the season. They run the ball well, but they won't get a lot of yards against the Titans, who have the 2nd best run defense in the league. With a team unable to run the ball efficiently, they will rely heavily on their passing game to pick up yards. Even though Tennessee's pass defense isn't very good, they've done a good job getting to the quarterback, especially in their last 3 games, with the team averaging more than 4 sacks per game during the stretch, so expect them to pressure Rodgers and force him to make mistakes. With the Titans holding opponents under 20 points per game, they will keep Green Bay's offense in check, so go with Tennessee to cover the spread. Take Tennessee Titans plus 3 points. Despite rushing for only 53 yards against Denver on Sunday, Derrick Henry had rushed for over 100 yards in 4 consecutive games prior to that. Tennessee is last in the NFL in total yardage at 281.7 yards per game, but is 9th in rushing, averaging 133.4 yards per game. Derrick Henry has rushed for 923 yards with 9 touchdowns and is averaging 102.6 yards per game on the ground. Henry has fumbled just once in 202 carries, but did not lose the fumble as Tennessee recovered. Ryan Tannehill has thrown for only 1,352 yards, with 8 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Robert Woods has a team-best 24 receptions for 266 yards, but just 1 touchdown catch. The Green Bay Packers are allowing an average of 21.6 points per game, which is 16th in the NFL. Green Bay is allowing an average of 320.3 yards per game, which is 9th best in the NFL. However, Green Bay is giving up too much on the ground at a rate of 140.6 yards per game, which is 26th, and will be up against a tough running attack of Tennessee. Green Bay linebacker Quay Walker has a team-best 70 tackles. Rashan Gary is the leader in quarterback sacks with 6.0. The Tennessee Titans have won 3 of their last 4 road games. Ryan Tannehill is completing 62.6% of his passes for 1,352 yards, 8 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Robert Woods and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine have combined for 523 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, while Austin Hooper has 17 receptions. The Tennessee Titans' ground game is averaging 133.4 yards per contest, and Derrick Henry leads the way with 923 yards and 9 touchdowns. Defensively, Tennessee is allowing 18.7 points and 357.7 yards per game. The Green Bay Packers have been unable to generate much offense this season and rank 24th in scoring at 18.5 points per game. On Sunday, Green Bay snapped a 5-game losing streak with a 31-28 overtime loss versus visiting Dallas. The Packers, 4-6, rushed for 207 yards in 39 attempts and forced 2 turnovers on the afternoon. Green Bay was trailing by 14 points entering the fourth quarter, but veteran QB Aaron Rodgers found rookie Christian Watson on touchdown receptions of 39 and 7 yards. Aaron Jones contributed 138 rushing yards and a score for the Packers. Tennessee QB Ryan Tannehill returned from a 2-game absence due to an ankle injury to throw for 255 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine hauled in touchdown receptions of 9 and 63 yards. Derrick Henry rushed for 53 yards on 19 carries for the Titans. David Long Jr. leads the Tennessee Titans with 71 tackles, Denico Autry has 7 sacks, and Amani Hooker has 1 interception. The Green Bay Packers have won 3 of their last 4 home games. Aaron Rodgers is completing 65% of his passes for 2,315 yards, 17 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Allen Lazard and Robert Tonyan have combined for 795 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns, while Romeo Doubs has 31 receptions. The Green Bay Packers' ground game is averaging 129.3 yards per contest, and Aaron Jones leads the way with 738 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, Green Bay is allowing 21.6 points and 320.3 yards per game. Quay Walker leads the Green Bay Packers with 70 tackles, Rashan Gary has 6 sacks, and Jaire Alexander has 3 interceptions. The leader in interceptions is Jaire Alexander with 3. As mentioned previously, Green Bay is scoring an average of only 18.5 points per game, and Tennessee scores an average of only 18.4 points per game. The Titans are allowing an average of only 18.7 points per game, and Green Bay allows an average of 121.6 points per game. Therefore, it is not surprising that the total has finished under in each of Tennessee's last 6 games, including each of the last 4 played on the road. The total has finished under in 5 of the last 7 games that the Packers have played against a team with a winning record. Take under 40.5 points.